Don't trust what somebody says. Don't even trust what they do. But always, always trust a pattern. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Relationship Theory. I'm your co-host, Tom Bilyeu, and I'm here with my lovely, beloved wife.
Why do I
Lisa
always
Bilyeu.
do that? I've got to be honest. Like, it feels so natural to do the funny wave.
It doesn't look natural.
Really? It feels so natural. Thanks. So annoying. Okay, yeah. Hi.
Yeah, so welcome.
All right. Next question. This is from Tom. Wow.
Nice.
All right, Tom. I've been married for a year to the love of my life, but our relationship has always had trust issues, mainly in that I don't trust her as she has lied to me and betrayed my trust both before we got married and whilst we've been married. But such is my love for her, our crazy chemistry, and that she is convincing that she's going to change and do everything to make it work, that I've stayed with her. At what point do I just say enough is enough? I have a great career and I want to focus, and my toxic relationship feels like it is holding me back and making me unhappy. But I love this girl very much and I do have some hope we can work it out. If it was just a relationship, I would have 100% walked away. But because we're now married, should I be fighting harder for this?
Well, so we're using words that are very alarming. Betrayal, toxic. So these aren't little things like, oh, I caught her in a white lie. Like, there's times where she's trying to protect my feelings, and so she's not 100% honest. Like, betrayal is a whole nother thing. And I will sum up that's not true. It'd be so cool to say that this really sums up my whole opinion on the subject, but don't trust what somebody says. Don't even trust what they do, but always, always trust a pattern. So the fact that she's done it multiple times, that is crazy distressing to me. So the question I have is, does she plan to work on this? So I would immediately be going to a therapist. I think they need somebody on the outside. I think they need accountability. I think they need ways for her to earn back her trust in ways that are incremental, so that if we see that she's not on a path to really earning that back and taking it seriously and all of that, and that somebody who isn't as blinded by love, which I actually hesitate to use that word because I think love in its most beautiful definition is reciprocal. And if we're in a toxic relationship, I personally would say that then by definition is not real love. But I don't want to demean what they have for each other. It just becomes my own definition thing. So yeah, I'd be seeing a therapist, somebody who isn't blinded by emotion, who can be objective about whether she's really making the steps to earn that trust back or not. And yeah, so I'm deeply concerned.
Yeah.
Toxic betrayal.
Yeah, and there's two things as well, because I do believe absolutely in couples therapy and things like that, but also there's two things. One is she keeps doing it, and it's more than just the act of cheating. There's something going on.
Well, he didn't say cheat, he said betrayed.
So trust.
You definitely didn't say the word
trust.
cheat.
Oh, interesting. That's interesting. I so read it as she cheated on him. Huh. All right. Maybe not then. Okay,
Maybe, by the way, but he just didn't say that.
Betrayed, yeah. I mean, I guess betrayal to me.
Right.
But anyway. So, well, why does she keep betraying him? Right? I think she needs to work on something because there's a reason. Right? That she keeps doing it. Is it insecurity with herself? And so she wants to hold the power? I'm not sure. But I think that absolutely needs to be addressed. So I would ask her, is she willing to do the work within herself?
She's going to say yes.
Okay. So
especially somebody that maybe we can't trust.
Okay, that's fair. So what does that work look like? Like, I would actually refine it. What does that work look like? Okay, you're gonna work. Does that mean you're actually gonna go to therapy? Yes, okay, I want it bad enough, I'm gonna go to therapy. Okay, well, if we're going to make this work, I want you to commit to 6 months of therapy once a week. That's gonna show me that you really care. Do we have an agreement? Like, putting things like this is like, look, I just need to know that you are committed. And so I think that these are the things that need to be done. And if she's willing to do it, then it shows. She's never going to improve overnight, right? It's clearly issues she'll have to work through. But is she willing to do the work? And that's kind of like, you'll see, right? Does she go to therapy? Does she not? Does she start to implement strategies and tactics with him or in that relationship to show that she is making an effort? And then the other thing I would address is like the flip side with him. It's like, why does he feel like he's not worthy to have someone, to be in a relationship with someone he can trust? Like, why does he feel like he needs to keep going back and that he's not worthy of someone that doesn't do that to him? Because I think that that's probably a self-esteem issue as well, because she clearly had done that before he got married, or before they got married. So, and he still pushed through it and still wanted to make it work. So I think that those two need to address their individual issues as well as coming together. But yeah, one big thing would be like, all right, well, if you really are sorry, that means like, I want you to read these books. Like, these books are on betrayal and emotions, okay?
You know, it's interesting. It's the second time you said something along those lines, and I take exception. So I think it is
lines?
Along the lines of, this is what you have to do to show me that you're serious.
Oh, yeah, I would.
And I think that what really has to be done is something else you said, which is we have to identify why you're doing this. Mm-hmm. So the point of going to therapy is not to show me that you're sincere, because you could roll up and bullshit and wear your mask and do all the things that you're doing now, which is, like you said, she's very convincing that she's going to change, but then she doesn't. So I'm not even interested in the just like going through the motions. My thing would be, we actually need to identify what's driving either your lack of respect for yourself, your lack of respect for me, or, you know, your pathological need to lie. I don't know where that lies, but it's like there is something driving this. Mm-hmm. And actually figuring out what's driving it and processing through is the only thing that would be of interest to me.
But how do you do that?
Yeah, you do it.
So
I'm just
therapy,
saying
read
that's
books,
why
like
reading the books is bullshit, I think.
Really?
It would entirely be like, my thing isn't read, my thing is implement.
Sure.
So like what I'm trying to get to is, they will lose years of their life saying, hey, read these books and I know you're sincere.
I'm
hey,
saying it needs to go hand in hand. It can't just be one thing. But you're saying even that.
No, I mean, if
So I'm
you're
saying going to therapy and like actually write down, because what a lot of people do right now is, for instance, I think that she may actually mean, like in those moments, like, no, I'm going to work on it. I love you. I want to get better. Like in those moments of despair, she feels like she's about to lose him. Like she really believes it. And then habit takes over and you slip into the bad habit.
Here's like, I love your generous framing.
But if you actually put things in place, you need to read books. You're going to go to therapy. Like,
yeah, I don't.
Do you
I think
them?
It really is a step shy, and to focus on reading the book or going to therapy is to miss what this actually needs, which is, and I get it. What I'm saying is a lot harder to check off on a box and say, you did it, and now I trust you. And that's part of why it started to, when you said it, I was like, that wouldn't earn my trust back. Her going to therapy wouldn't earn my trust back.
Okay.
Her reading a book wouldn't earn my trust back. Me seeing in therapy that she is for real trying to figure out what's driving this and process through and get to some raw places and really begin to do the hard work of like going through whatever emotional thing is driving this. And I think that a lot of times people are so terrified to do that work, to look at what is driving that inside themselves, that they're even convincing themselves that they're going to change. And it's like, no, you have a pattern of behavior, and until you address the underlying cause, this pattern of behavior is going to continue regardless of what your like deep desire to fix it is. And I've just seen way too many people in my life go decades and decades and decades without addressing like the underlying cause. So they keep suffering through, like they're creating their own suffering, let there be no mistake about it. But it's like they just keep going. And the way that they always sucker me back into helping them is they're like, but I want to change, give me the tools. Right. But it's like, that's not true. I need to see you do the fucking work.
Okay, so how do you actually then judge that?
There is no checkbox I can give you. There is only, I'm sitting across from you in therapy and I see you putting in the work, or you're going to therapy without me, and when you come back, I can see you're changing as a human being at a deep and fundamental level.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
but I'm saying, so I actually agree with you 100%. You need to see the results, but it's also to see the results, you have to implement something.
You want to give them the steps, and I think that's very fair.
Yeah.
They have got to, like, they're going to go to a place that's deep and uncomfortable.
Yes.
And, like, that's all we need to be talking about. Like,
there needs
we
to be
as
the
in
two
we're there.
parts.
Yeah, I'm just saying, check boxes, that we're past that.
But I don't even think they're going to therapy, so...
They're not for sure.
Right,
Well,
so this
almost
one,
certainly.
yeah. So I'm just saying there has to be actual things, because you can't check a box on the results. Okay, what's the strategy to try and develop the results? And so to me, it needs to be actionable. Like, not just like, okay, I'm going to get better and look, you'll see the results. Okay, but...
What are we arguing over?
We're not really arguing over anything.
So I'm just saying it's not going to be enough to tell them to read a book and go to therapy.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. And I was saying that was part one.
Sure.
Yeah.